saying crime is not up around the East Precinct in the area they're looking to put this building.
East Birmingham, all of us are fully aware that crime is not only up, but what was being approved today was an infrastructure a grant, and all it was to be able to have victims of violent crime that is solely run and managed by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. That was what the grant was to support. And so how it got to be about we don't have crime versus those who live in the area, we know that there's a high level of crime. We all understand. And hopefully this will not become a political pawn, for lack of better words, at the safety and at the expense of more residents having to encounter such crime.
Where exactly is this building that Mr.
The first building is at 9711 Parkway East, which is right across the street from Regions Bank and opposite end corner of Huffman Baptist Church.
Okay.
And the other?
The other location is on Carson Road, which is 2355 Carson Road. That's in the Queensbury Shopping Center, which is only about a block and a half from Jefferson State Community College.
Now, is that where they will meet, or are they going to meet at both locations? Or?
Both locations are made available, and basically all that has been asked from the commission is that they'd like to see Birmingham on board, even though this is not a Birmingham initiative. However, we applaud that. I think everyone who lives in the area is keenly aware that there has to be some help. As a matter of fact, Smith Middle School was just on lockdown yesterday. So we are fully aware, and we're not here to be adversarial. In fact, we're seeking partnership, not only with Birmingham, but we've been successful with doing that with other municipalities in Jefferson County.
So you choose one of these two locations for the
Both locations are available.
And
Not one of two, both locations.
so the sheriff wants both buildings?
The sheriff has indicated that he's willing to put the program to function in those locations. And we welcome it in the area. And as the commissioner, I think that is incumbent upon myself, being that it is our district, just like I did for Fairfield and other places, that we make sure that all of our citizens know that they're safe. And again, this is not to play tit for tat when you're talking about law enforcement. All the people want is the ability to know that they're safe and the business to be able to function properly and be able to have adequate police support.
But again, to be clear, this is a facility for victims to come in for interviews. Such
Absolutely.
That it is not in and of itself an actual substation from which officers are actually going out.
Absolutely. The purpose of these particular offices is so that those who have been victims of domestic violence would be able to go and they can make their reports. It would also provide a convenience that if you live in the area, that you have the opportunity to go just around the corner or up the road and be able to find that assistance. We all know that as our housing community partners with the Housing Authority, as they continue on to move families around, one of the questions that I've always asked is how are we educating people so that they know the area that they're moving to, they know what's going on. I know with Farrington Apartments is a prime example of something recently that occurred over in East Jefferson County that has a lot of people, a lot of homeowners, a lot of people in general alarmed, and it's all because we know that Valley Brook Apartments, we've had Springville Landing Apartments, we have an apartment complex that's right next door to the largest high school in the city of Birmingham, and it's in the county, it's not in the city. So as much as we can help support Birmingham by way of the Sheriff's Department, I think we need to continue on with that partnership.
Commissioner Knight said that he heard it was a substation yesterday in the meeting. You know, he said publicly that it was his understanding it was a substation. What happened with that?
Well, I think what the sheriff realized is that he needed to take that program in a different direction because there are some underlying factors that we have going on, meaning that there are some crime-fighting initiatives that he wants to do. And so I think that he chose to go a different route. And I'm okay with that because that's not my job as a commissioner to make sure that I tell the sheriff what to do. My job is to support, and support comes by way of providing grants and making sure that the commission is fully aware, not just this area, but all parts of the county deserve to have our citizens safe. And I know that we are desirous of doing that. We're not seeking to have adversarial relationships. I think that the sheriff has made it quite clear that every municipality that has been called upon for their assistance, they have provided it, and I've shared along with it gladly because I think it's right for the people.
Let me one question, Sal. Were you disappointed that you didn't get that support today with that lack of assessment?
I'm not disappointed. What I understand is that this is an area that has been long forgotten by the city of Birmingham, and it's unfortunate, but we have to continue on to work. I was a council member in that area, and I helped to make sure that we put a lot of funding into that East Precinct, so there's a lot of history there. We had people to come today to speak, so this is not just the commissioner laying out something political. This is the people having the opportunity to speak in that area. They have a vested interest. You have Sarah Automotive, who owns at least the majority of Parkway East leading into the city of Centerpoint. Those of us who live along Roebuck Parkway, Parkway East, and Centerpoint, we know the crime that we face. So if the stats is what some would want to say that doesn't exist, well, that's fine. But the people who actually live there, that's what makes the difference. The people who live in those communities, including myself, we understand the crime, except we're not talking about it. We're willing to do something about it.
Obviously, the adjusted purpose for the buildings is a place to service victims of violent crime. Do you know if there's any initiative to have a similar office somewhere else in Jefferson County, west side, or somewhere else?
Well, the county already has an office that has victims of violent crimes in another location. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, is downtown. Not for sure, but I think so. And so all this would do is provide for the residents in the eastern area of Birmingham, even on into the city of Centerpoint, this opportunity that they can have this housed in their community. Let me say this. When Farrington Apartments became an issue, and it's still now an issue for those who live around it in terms of the individuals, the 22 families who are being placed from one housing community through the housing authority over in that community. Even the mayor of Centerpoint, who's not in my district, he's in Commissioner Knight's district, and he mentioned his concern about what do we do about different people going to our school system. If you're going to do anything in a community, whether it's to do business or whether it's to reside there, you need to have law and order. But that's not something that we as citizens take into our own hands. We have to rely on the professionals. And I can say, as one who live in the area, that we are in desperate need. We're hoping that the mayor, who, let me just say this, and we do want the best for the mayor. Let me be very clear on that. We are only saying that the Sheriff's Department has a program. The program does not include any municipal government interface with it. It is solely a sheriff's office program. And all I was doing was providing assistance that we could have at least those who are experiencing domestic violence, well, they have an opportunity that they can go to these offices and they can receive assistance.
And yes, you said this was not political, despite the mayor seemed to indicate it seems political.
Well, let me always say this. I'm very keenly aware that we always go to the default of being able to say something is political when you're dealing with the citizenry. The citizens are the reason why we're here. If we forget about the people who got us elected into office and we start playing games with people's lives, it was just last year, just as I mentioned in the commission meeting, that we had someone that was shooting not only on the interstate, getting off of Parkway East, but anywhere along that corridor. And for months, a lot of us were in fear. And it was all because we didn't know who was shooting at people randomly who were just simply driving, whether home or to work, whatever the case may be. And now we have a school that has not been on lockdown not once but twice. We understand the need. And all that we're saying is that we're here to help. We're not here to criticize. We're not here to be adversarial. We as citizens, And I, as a commissioner, am willing to partner with every city, just as I've done with Fairfield and other cities, to make sure that we have adequate police protection in place.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.